How's it going, guys? Just got done shooting at the range with Doc Tech's son. We were out doing some target practice, huh? Weren't we, bud?
Mm-hmm.
What were you shooting? He's enjoying his almond Snickers. Shooting your. We just built up a Savage Rascal for him, 22 long rifle, and anyway, he's going to be taking hunter safety this summer with his sister and his mom. Huh, dude? And anyway, so he needed to get some practice in. They do most of the work online, but then they have to do a field day, and they have to show that they're proficient in shooting and kind of demonstrate what they've learned through their online studies. But anyway, so we had a little bit of problems with your gun, though, didn't we? It's doing some light primer strikes, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening with it. So we're going to either have to break it down or call Savage, one of the two. So we'll see what happens with it. There's going to be reviews on that gun here in the future coming up. So anyway, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I had a subscriber ask me the other day about what I thought about using a 45 ACP for a bear defense gun. He lives in an area that has a lot of bears. I actually lived in that area before in the past, and so I'm really well aware of the environment up there. And there's a lot of black bear, predominantly black bear, but just north of him there is a good abundance of grizzly bears as well. So my answer to this subscriber came from an experience that a buddy of mine had. And what he was doing was, this was several years ago when he was elk hunting, and he made a couple mistakes during this hunt, one of which was that he didn't carry enough ammunition for his gun, for his rifle. He loaded up his rifle with 5 rounds, and then that was all he had. He didn't carry any additional rounds with him. And the other mistake was he took a shot that he probably shouldn't have taken. And anyway, what happened was he spotted a bull elk across the canyon from him, about just under 400 or just under 500 yards away. And anyway, he did classic holdover hunting. He doesn't dial his turret. He doesn't use precise holdovers. And so what actually occurred was he took 5 shots at this elk and only hit it once. He hit it once in the spine, which made it so its rear legs were paralyzed. And the problem is he'd used up all his ammunition, and he was a ways away from this bull. And so he hiked across to it. But what he also had with him, firearms-wise, was he had a Springfield 1911, a GI model, 5-inch barrel, 45 ACP. And what he had loaded in it was 230 grain full metal jacket Winchester white box ammo. And so anyway, what he decided to do was he'd get up to it and he'd shoot it in the head at point blank range. The problem was that the elk was just thrashing around because, you know, it was distressed, it was in pain, and he didn't think he'd be able to hit it in the head because it was moving so much. So he decided to take lung heart shots on the elk. So what he did was he fired the first shot at the elk, and the round actually hit the rib cage and followed along the hide and flew off, like bounced off of the elk. And so what had actually happened was the hair was actually shaved off of the elk. So there was like this little bald streak on the elk from the round. So the round didn't penetrate the skin, it just kind of followed the skin along and then shaved all the hair off. And so he fired all the remaining shots from his 1911. Only 1 round penetrated, and it only penetrated about a ½ inch just underneath the rib. And so here he was, empty gun, empty rifle. He had to wait another ½ hour for his buddy to show up and actually dispatch the elk with his rifle. Really a bad situation. He should not have taken that shot because he wasn't confident in taking it that far away. and 2, he should have had more ammunition with him. So those are lessons learned by him, you know, the hard way. But anyway, but the point is that taking the shots with the 1911 were not effective on that elk. So what we can do is we can surmise from that particular situation and apply that to bear. If it's not going to penetrate the hide of an elk, it's not going to penetrate effectively the hide of black or brown bear either. And so I really don't recommend carrying a 45 ACP for a woods gun. It's just not really an effective caliber for that. Now, a lot of you are going to roll in and say, well, there was so-and-so that killed a bear with this or that. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's probably instances where people have actually defended themselves successfully with a 1911 or a 45 ACP in the woods. But if it were me, I would not be carrying a 45 in the woods. Of the 3 major rounds, the 45, 40, and 9mm, I would probably carry the 9mm. The 9mm edges out both the 45 and the 40 in soft target penetration. You know, and if you're using full metal jackets, I'd probably use 9mm 147 grain or 124 grain for sure. But none of those guns are really going to be effective as a bear gun. What I carried in the woods when I lived in this subscriber's area was I carried a 357 Ruger SP101 snub nose. Now, it was a 2 1/4 inch barrel, and the snub nose, the round that I would carry in it, and still do for woods carry, is the 125 grain semi-jacketed soft point by Remington. That semi-jacketed soft point acts pretty well like a full metal jacket, but the nose does have some potential to expand, and that's why I go with it. And I've tested the velocity out of my SP101, and I find it to be more than sufficient for what I think would be a good defense pistol. So yeah, it's a good gun. Now I have a Model 29 Smith & Wesson, which is a 44 Magnum, and the 44 Mag is an excellent choice for protection against dangerous and big game. The problem is that gun weighs a ton, and so I'm not really willing to carry that in the woods as a backup firearm. That's more like a primary weapon for me. But the SP101, the stub nose, isn't too much weight, and I can carry that pretty easily when I'm hunting. So other really good choices for bear guns is like a 41 Magnum. You know, you can use like 44 Special even. 10mm is a great round, you know, out of a Glock 20 or even a Glock 29. You know, there's Buffalo Bore sells their, I think it's a 200 or a 220 grain, one of the two, hard cast lead bullet, and that produces over 700 foot-pounds of energy. That's your bear load right there. That's gonna punch deep, and it's gonna stop something in its tracks. So that's what I would carry. Or, you know, the 357 of the venerable 357. You know, I like a 4-inch barrel, but the stub nose carries a little easier, a little nicer, and with the right load, you're still going to get plenty of power out of that revolver. So, but those are really what I recommend. This particular subscriber says that money is an issue with him, and so he doesn't have a lot of money to just go out and buy a bunch of different kinds of firearms. But so in that case, if you have a 45 ACP, carry a 45 ACP. But it's not going to probably be the best gun for you in woods carry. That's just my opinion. So take it or leave it. But anyway, guys. So anyway, I thought I'd make a quick video just kind of addressing that particular issue. And if you guys live in an area where you have you know, dangerous game like bear country, let me know what you guys carry. For those of you that probably are on horseback, you know, you probably carry whatever you want. But for those of us that are hiking and hunting on foot, you know, it's not always an option to carry the biggest gun with us. So anyway, guys, don't Don't forget to rate the video if you like what you see, and also don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And as always, guys, thanks very, very much for watching, and we'll catch you next video. See ya. Say goodbye, dude.
Bye.